Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Strafe Cal. It is time. We're going to head in here, finish this quest up, and progress to the end game. It's Fallout 3, if you didn't notice. This is going to be the start of the last quest. This is the turning point where once you start, you can't turn back. We do have saves. Obviously, we can reload, and I believe the DLC may allow you to do more.
The longer we sit here, the more time they have to shore up their defenses. We should hit them sooner rather than later.
We barely have the manpower to keep the Citadel fortified. We've been over this before, Sarah.
So we just wait until they decide we're next on the list? If the Pride goes in now, we might have a chance.
And if you fail, then what? The risk is not worth the reward.
I agree. Without the Gek, the Purifier is useless to the Enclave anyway. They may give up before long.
I don't like it.
You don't have to like it, Sarah. You just have to follow orders.
Yes, Father.
So, you're back. We had feared both you and the Gek were lost. Were you successful? Excellent. With that, we hold the key to keeping the Enclave from controlling the Purifier. Then we must go at once. If you have any other information, tell me now before we mobilize. Any help you can give might save lives. I see. And where is this virus now? Just as well, no good could come from it.
Okay.
We need to decide on a course of...
If the Enclave has the Gek, there's nothing stopping them from
I
starting the
had
Purifier.
two other things to
They'll
say,
figure out the code
but
eventually.
okay.
I'm afraid you're right. We need to act now while we can.
Send the Pride in. We can do it. We can win this.
All right, Sarah. The Pride goes in. But I want them to have some extra firepower. Rothschild, is it ready?
What? No, I mean, Lee and I have solved the power problems, but we've only barely finished diagnostic tests.
So?
It's not ready for field tests, let alone live fire situations. The weapons haven't been calibrated, the navigation detection system is offline.
There's a giant robot there. They're talking about the giant robot.
Honestly, I don't know. I think we can scrape by, and I suppose if we can't, it won't matter in the long run anyway.
Then it's decided. Sarah, you take the Pride and use the robot as support. Take our friend here and secure that Purifier.
Yes, sir. Before we get started, I wanted to let you know that my father and I have been talking. The Pride and I have decided that after all you've survived, you've done enough to be an honorary member of Lion's Pride. So congratulations. Membership comes with some privileges, including our power armor. You want the full suit or the recon armor? Sure thing. Hopefully, it'll give you a bit of an extra edge.
Okay.
Okay. So do you think you can hold it together for this? Now that's what I like to hear, soldier. You all packed? We're not coming back here anytime soon.
Okay.
Okay, don't be nervous. You'll have the whole Pride backing you up, not to mention this giant tin can. Just stay safe until we reach the Purifier. You're no good to us if you're dead. And don't let that thing step on you. Okay, we're going to go over it one more time. The Pride is on me. The goal is Project Purity, but we can't get into the facility with those energy fields up.
So this is a really
Rothschild
cool
and Lee
little
say this robot
sequence.
should be able to take down the energy fields. So we're on fire support. We stay close to the thing, keep it clear, and get it to where it needs to go. Once the fields are down, we head straight for the facility. We'll use the robot to keep them occupied while we get inside and secure the control room. We need to move quickly before we lose the chance to surprise them. Get whatever supplies you don't already have, and we'll meet in the Bailey. When we're done with this, everyone can have a nice cold glass of water on me. Let's move. All right, Rothschild, fire it up. Pride, move out!
rise up out of the from underground, like in so many bad anime from the 80s. No, we're walking. Okay, we're gonna real quick swap over to the full power armor. What's the goal right now? Follow Liberty Prime, yeah. Ah. That's who we're... Okay. So, yeah, we get to now cruise along the southern edge of the coast here. Escorting a giant robot and a whole squad of Brotherhood of Steel soldiers. It is
Red Chinese victory. Impossible.
I'm sure we'll have something to do eventually. No, the robot is supposed to get to the
Obstruction detected.
field up here to break it down.
Alloy supplemented by photonic resonance barrier. Probability of mission hindrance 0%. Alaska's liberation is imminent.
We may be a bit resistant to damage. A bit. That's gonna explode under me, isn't it? I will say I'm slightly amused by the fact that we have literally done nothing so far. Except to apparently absorb a few hits. I'm not even sure what just happened there. Let's do quick Radix right away. Holy crap, that was actually a lot of damage for once.
Democracy is non-negotiable.
What if the people in the democracy vote for it to not be democracy? Is that acceptable? Because if it's not, it seems like it's contradictory. I'm just saying.
Engaging red Chinese aggressors. Initiating directive democracy. 3 is non-negotiable. Destroy directive 395. Destroy all communists. German Chang will fail. China will fall. But embrace democracy, or you will be eradicated. America will never fall to communism. Is the very definition of failure. Commencing tactical assessment. Red Chinese threat detected. Democracy.
So yeah, it's kind of just this ridiculous hail of gunfire and giant robot. We're really not even doing that much because melee weapons. I will say that's one of the things I like about New Vegas way better than
Significant obstruction detected.
3 is the fact that it has so much better
Enhanced photonic
Um,
resonance barrier.
options for
Established
melee
stratagem.
builds.
Inadequate.
You actually get a
Revised stratagem. Initiate photonic resonance overcharge.
in Fallout New Vegas. You actually get the option to get a what am I trying to say? You get a like rain, what is it, like javelins and stuff, thrown weapons as melee, and I have a lot of memories of running through the dam at the end of Fallout New Vegas. That was probably dumb, you know, in retrospect. Okay, let's just real quick. You know what? We've got all this stuff. Eh. Oh, come on. Get to the rotunda.
You again. I can't say I'm surprised. You and your ilk seem hell-bent on destroying everything our government has worked to achieve. There's nothing to stop me from killing you this time. Let's end this. I beg to differ. The Enclave is at the height of its power.
Your
Once this
face got
facility is
blown up.
operational, the masses will flock to the Enclave for fresh water, protection, and a plan for the future. The American people are worth fighting for. The future must be secured. I won't let you stand in the way of that. And what would you have me do? Let you have everything I've worked to build? Let you destroy it all? Such arrogance. If that's your wish, so be it. Take some small comfort in knowing you'll have little time to regret the decision.
Watch the spacing! Watch the spacing! Well, that takes care of that. By now, the Pride should be mopping up whatever opposition is left outside. Let's get this room secured.
Hello? Hello, is anyone there?
Dr. Lee, it's Sarah
Something's
Lyons.
wrong with the
I'm in the
purifier.
control room. We're both here. What's going on?
I've been monitoring facility has been damaged during the fighting. Some of it looks accidental, some of it may have been sabotage. There's pressure building up in the holding tanks. It needs to be released now, or else the whole facility could explode. To release the pressure, you're going to have to turn the purifier on. Do you understand me? It has to be turned on now. If I'm reading this right, I'm afraid there are lethal levels of radiation inside the chamber. I'm sorry. I wish there was some other way, but there's just no time. It has to be done now, or the damage will be catastrophic.
Well, so much for celebrating. One of us is going to have to go in there and turn the damn thing on. And whoever does it isn't coming back out. Not exactly how I imagined going out, you know? So, what should we do? Draw straws? I wish that were true. Really, I do. But you heard Dr. Lee. We have to do this right now, or who knows how bad it'll be. One of us has to go in there.
I mean, Fox can handle radiation.
If that's how you want to do that.
What are you looking at?
This is a dire predicament. What shall we do? Of course. My immunity to radiation makes me a far better candidate for surviving in there. I would say that your destiny lies within that chamber, but you have already altered mine. The least I can do is return the favor, cycle the airlock, and we'll put an end to this.
There's no time to discuss it. Someone needs...
Where's the button to cycle the airlock? Aha. There we go. And we're not infecting the wasteland. Getting rid of all the mutants sounds like it'd be cool, but it means getting rid of everyone. Like everything and everyone, even the people who didn't deserve it.
The purifier needs to be activated now. You don't have much time left.
And that's the end of the last quest. It's not super hard or difficult, like compared to some of the other games.
And so it was that the lone wanderer ventured forth from Vault 101, intent on discovering the fate of a father who had once sacrificed the future of humanity for that of his only child. The capital wasteland proved a cruel, inhospitable place. But the lone wanderer refused to surrender to the vices that had claimed so many others. The values passed on from father to child: selflessness, compassion.
That's what
honor,
you took out of that?
guided this noble soul through countless trials and triumphs.
No. My dad was a jerk. Like, he didn't ask about it, what happened in the vault when he left.
That the lone wanderer was faced
His
with
friend
that
got killed and he didn't even
virtues,
ask.
Sacrifice. But the child refused to follow the father's selfless example. Instead, allowing a true hero to venture into the irradiated control chamber of Project Purity. Thankfully, When selected by the sinister president to be his instrument of annihilation, the Wanderer refused. Humanity, with all its flaws, was deemed worthy of preservation. The waters of life flowed at last, free and pure for any and all. The capital wasteland, at long last, was saved. So ends the story of the Lone Wanderer, who stepped through the great door of Vault 101 and into the annals of legend. But the tale of humanity will never come to a close, for the struggle of survival is a war without end. And war never changes.
This is because of the DLC. It actually gives us this 2-week gap before we wake up.
Careful now, careful. Don't move too quickly. Everything's fine, you're safe. You're in the Citadel. I was starting to think you might never wake up, despite assurances to the contrary. I've been coming down here every day to see both you and my daughter. It's good that at least one of you has recovered. It's all right, you're safe now. You're in the Citadel. There was some sort of energy spike as the purifier started. You and Sarah were knocked unconscious and brought here to the infirmary. We've been watching over the two of you for days. I'm glad to see it's paid off. Indeed it did. The tidal basin is full of fresh, clean water now. We've been working to see that it's distributed to as many people as possible across the wasteland. In fact, I'm hopeful that soon we won't be referring to the wasteland any longer. None of this would have been possible without the efforts of both you and your father. I doubt we shall ever be able to truly repay you. Well, that's really up to you, isn't it?
I have no idea.
The Brotherhood has a clear plan of action. The remnants of the Enclave must be swept away. The Pride has been working to this end ever since we took the Purifier back. The only remaining question is whether we can count on you to help us. Indeed. We can use every able body available to us. To that end, I'm going to circumvent our standard recruitment procedures and declare you a Knight of the Brotherhood of Steel. Before you do anything else, please speak with Scribe Rothschild. I'm sure he'll be pleased to see you again. He can brief you on the details of the last few weeks, as well as where our efforts are focused now. I understand that you've been through quite an ordeal, but the sooner you can talk to him, the sooner we can put an end to all this. Please.
Okay. Do that. And you know what? We're gonna make this real simple. We're gonna do here and now. And ninja.
patiently await your word.
Need something, friend?
So we're just gonna make our way over here real quick. This is into the post-game DLC for the Broken Steel DLC. I'm kind of curious, so I'm gonna go ahead and talk to Rothschild. Huh, neat. Aquapura. It's the water from the basin that we helped them get.
Need something, friend?
Hail.
Okay. This is driving me crazy already. Where is he? Like, seriously. Okay. Sure.
Well, it's good to see that you're on your feet again. I assume Lyons is immediately throwing you to the wolves? Has he told you what's been going on while you've been resting? Yes, I believe I can. Step over here for a moment, will you?
I'm not sure how long or involved this DLC is. We haven't done any of the other DLC. I know there are still some questions left we could ask.
What's happened over the last few weeks and what's going on now? As you well know, this all began with the Enclave's occupation of Project Purity here. Thanks to you, their main headquarters here was utterly destroyed. They then suffered a second defeat at the Purifier. Based on a combination of intelligence and field reports, other Enclave locations throughout the wasteland were found. Cut off from their leadership, it was expected that their forces would be in complete disarray. This has not been the case. Based on data and tech gathered from these locations, we've determined that the Enclave forces are still maintaining remote communications. We isolated the transmissions and found their origin point, an old military installation in Rockland, to the southwest. Our advanced scouts have checked over the area, but no easy access to the facility was found. So we're making our own access point. Paladin Tristan is leading the team setting up forward base in an old car tunnel near the site. Once he's settled, Liberty Prime will be deployed. Prime's directive is to neutralize their defenses and create an entry point for the team. The team will move in, eliminate any opposition inside, and cut off their transmitter. Any relevant data should be brought back here. Now, did you have any other questions? If there's anything else you'd like to know, I'll alert him.
Okay. Well, so it looks like it's basically just going to be 4 raids on the Enclave base. We'll see how I'm feeling. I'm going to go ahead and give my kind of final thoughts on this mission, or on this game rather, since this is kind of the final, well, that was the final mission, as it were. So yeah, I've kind of addressed my feelings on Fallout 3 a couple times as we've gone through this. As far as an overall picture goes, it's not my favorite. It's good. It's my least favorite of the 3 modern ones. And I've kind of gone into why a couple times. The main story's pacing is really weird. The beginning, you're just kind of wandering around searching, and there's these big spikes in difficulty if you just follow, like going to Galaxy News Radio at level 4 or whenever, directly from Megaton. Technically, that's where you're supposed to go, and the fact that you can do that, and it has almost no, like, security blanket for you. There's no good way to tell you that you're wandering into, you know, super mutant infested downtown mall area. And so it expects you to wander around a bunch at the beginning, and then in the end, everything is just very direct. And it's very easy to just follow each of those little steps and not realize that you're almost done with the game. I remember very distinctly feeling like the beginning, I had all this time and exploration and it was really neat. And then the first time I played through it, I got to, like, I wandered around looking for Galaxy News Radio forever. And then just blasted through the rest of it as soon as I got to Galaxy News Radio, and was just like, oh, well, I guess I'm done then. And at that point, I finally stopped and explored a bit, but yeah, it has some weird pacing issues, and it also doesn't help that I really, really hate the character of your dad in this. He is very much that kind of Reed Richards scientist of, you know, science is the most important thing and saving the world is the most important thing. It's like, you abandoned me in this vault, you got your best friend down there killed, you almost got me killed, you got a bunch of other people injured or killed because of your escape. You threw everything into chaos, but because that's only, 20 people, he doesn't care. When you get out, he doesn't ask any questions, doesn't want to know what's been going on, doesn't care. His immediate thought is, I have this project I need to do. Oh, you seem to know how to use a gun. I'm going to use you to accomplish my goals. And Dr. Lee just picks up where he left off. It kind of leaves a sour taste in my mouth as far as the overall story of the game goes. That being said, I really like the environment in this game. I really like a lot of the side quests. I really like areas like the Little Lamplight and Big Town kind of divide. I like the vaults in this game a lot. I mean, the vaults are always awesome, but I very much like the vaults in this game. I like the subways and downtown areas, even if they're a little hard to navigate. I love the fact that you've got the mall there and these memorials and museums, and you get to look around in them. That is one thing we didn't spend a lot of time in, are the museums and such. Mostly because I'm not playing Small Guns, and the Small Guns characters, you want to go and get Abe Lincoln's repeater. Yeah. Unfortunately, the main story just kind of makes me less interested in this game, and the companions. Which, once again, the only companion that I've had, I'm fairly sure, any playthroughs of this game was Fox. I may have run into one or two of the other ones when I went on my way for it on previous runs, but I barely remember them. They're not really notable to me. When you're talking about Fallout New Vegas, the companions are one of the best parts of the game to me. you know, like I literally have my route planned out for the beginning of the game via companions. You go get Boone, you go get Veronica, you go get Arcade. And Fallout 4, the companions were amazing. Like, every single one of the companions in Fallout 4 was great. And even some of the weirder ones in New Vegas and 4 were still really interesting, like Tabitha. And this game, like, I literally I was told after the fact, I apparently talked to a couple of the companions, or was like in the same room as them, and didn't realize that I missed them. In the other games, the game points you at the companions via quests. In this game, it doesn't. The only one you actually run into the course of the main storyline, or any of the side quests that I did, for the most part, was Fox. And there's also a lot of moral implications. Depending on your karma rating, there are a lot of characters you can't recruit. My original plan, playing through this game, one of the characters you can actually recruit is Butch, as in the bully from the beginning of the game that, you know, picks on you and Amada. Once the vault gets opened, that's why we did that side quest, so we could get Butch out. But I found out after the fact, or basically once I'd started, that the only way to actually get Butch is to be neutral karma. So because we have high karma, because we did good things, we can't recruit all the companions. And there's like half the companions fall under that category of you need to be a very specific. Fox won't join you unless you're very high karma. Butch, you have to start neutral. And then there's like a couple people in the slave area in Paradise Falls and one in Megaton that you have to be low karma. You have to be, you know, a despicable human being for them to even consider joining you. Whereas in all the other games, that's much less of an issue. I think faction alignment matters on some of them, but for the most part, it's a lot easier to actually get all the companions, do all the quests, and the game points with them. I feel like that's one of the most important things in the Fallout games, is that interaction. That's what makes them really good and memorable in a lot of cases, and that's one of the places this one was lacking, unfortunately. That being said, it's still a great game. It's still fun. The exploration and the actual missions in the game are still great. The storyline, while I disagree with some of the ways it's done, and I really don't like the characterization of your dad, the story itself is still good. I mean, the idea of having to go and look for a water purifier is actually a really simple but good idea, and it actually ties back pretty specifically to Fallout 1. So I like the fact that it has that callback to its own history. Other downsides, it does have overall a fairly low challenge rating. It's very easy to gain a lot of levels because of the way they did the system. You get way too many perks. Granted, in the other games, after playing this, I always feel like there's not enough, but it's really easy to kind of max out, if you didn't notice. Which is nice because you can do a lot of things, but unfortunately, the challenge rating on the enemies is still pretty low overall. Which I'm not sure they really fixed until Fallout 4, when they introduced, secondary tiers for Deathclaws and the Mirelurk Queens and stuff like that. So yeah. Overall, great game still. Hope you enjoyed. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video series for now. If I do get a lot of feedback or suggestions about specific quests that I didn't do, DLC, either continuing the DLC, going and finding, you know, some of the other companions or something like that, I may be willing to run around and do some of that, but it's not something that's immediately on my radar, so we'll see where the future takes us. Next video series I'm going to be starting are going to be Mega Man 5. Brian and I are doing another Mega Man off, and that's the only one that the two of us haven't played at all. Neither of us has played Mega Man 5 before, so we are going to both be playing that, not blind. We've been doing some research and stuff, so we don't feel like total idiots playing it, but neither one of us will have played it when we start. So I think that'll be a fun little quasi-competition and just fun shared experience. And later this week, we're going to be getting the Pathfinder Kingmaker game, which should be, looks like an isometric, like Baldur's Gate style RPG. And I'm a big tabletop gamer. Pathfinder is one of my favorite things. And a lot of my problems with Pathfinder are how numbers heavy it is. And the Kingmaker scenario is one of my favorite, because it has so much really interesting, like, government systems. It's practically SimCity on your, you know, it's like medieval SimCity in between adventures, which I love. The problem is that in a tabletop game, you need 4 people who love that, 4 to 6 people who love that. And while it was a lot of fun playing it, I always felt like I was the one who was enjoying that, and everyone else was just kind of, you know, indulging in it or just dealing with that part of the game. So I'm very excited to see how they do this, and to be able to do all of that number crunching, all of that, those intricate systems getting done automatically, because it's, that's a piece of an Enclave soldier floating there. Yeah. Yeah, I'm basically just very excited to see how it happens, and while I do love doing all the number crunching myself, I think it'll be really cool to see how they implement that and to not have to keep track of everything also. I'm a little concerned about character customization, because it looked like it was going to be more locked down than some games are. But yeah, we'll see. And if that goes well, I may start in on Pillars of Eternity at some point here in the future as well, which is another similar, you know, isometric Baldur's Gate style RPG. Still need to do Fallout 4 at some point as well. I do have a whole list of games. I'm not gonna go down the entire thing, but since this is Fallout 3, figured I'd mention Fallout 4 is still on my list. I'm definitely gonna be looking into doing it. I need to figure out a good way to go through it without getting completely caught up in some of the minutia, because while I love Fallout 4, again, it has and the other example I gave, it has a lot of busy work. There's a lot of running back and forth with supplies compared to this game, because you basically have to take everything that's not nailed down to make and repair stuff, and to build your town, which is a whole nother problem. Because I really enjoy the town building part, but I don't want to make that the focus of the videos. And I feel like parts of it are necessary to really make the game play better. When I tried doing it with no towns, it was really frustrating. But yeah, I think it's still doable. I think it's still on the list. I just want to make sure I get some research, get some guidance for myself as far as the approach and structure that I want to take to make sure that it's done well. With that, hopefully you have enjoyed. If you did, please give a like and subscribe. Check out the other content on my channel. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. Like I said, suggestions for other things in this game you'd like done, feel free to let me know. I'm making no promises right now, but maybe at some point we'll come back and do some additional stuff in this game. With that, as always, have a good one, and we'll catch you next time.